Some rulers wanted to control their own time. Ramses II wanted to outlive time itself, and somehow, thousands of years later, that ambition still works. Today, in the middle of modern London, I'm stepping into a world of ritual, power, memory, and gold through the Ramses exhibition at Battersea Power Station. One of the things I love most about cultural discovery is that it often begins in places that seem completely unrelated to the world you're about to enter. Today, that threshold is Battersea Power Station, one of London's most recognizable industrial landmarks, now hosting an exhibition dedicated to one of ancient Egypt's most enduring rulers. Ramses II is remembered as a builder, a warrior, and above all, a master of image. He did not just rule Egypt, he projected Egypt. He understood that power had to be carved into stone, wrapped into ritual, and repeated until it felt eternal. And maybe that is why his walls still feel so magnetic now. Because beneath the monuments and the grandeur is a very human desire to be remembered long after the body is gone. This show brings together more than 180 ancient treasures, offering a carefully staged encounter with legacy. These statues, coffins, masks, and carved forms are beautiful in their own right, but together they reveal something deeper, a civilization where political authority and cosmic order were deeply intertwined. This is the part that matters to me most, because if we only look at ancient Egypt as spectacle, we miss the worldview inside it. These were not just luxury objects, they were part of a system of meaning, a system in which the ruler stood between the human world and the divine one. And when you begin to look at the exhibition through that lens, the rooms start to feel less like galleries and more like arguments about permanence. The first thing this exhibition does well is scale. Not just physical scale, though there is plenty of that, psychological scale. You are made to feel that kingship here was never ordinary. It was visual, it was sacred, it was architectural. Ramses II is the world-known brand manager. In modern times, you could actually see that he's been the first person to show treaty to the world, branding himself, telling his own side of the story, right or wrong, who knows. Ramses II is one of those figures who feels larger than biography. His name survives not just because he ruled, but because he was relentless in shaping how he would be seen. And that is what fascinates me here. These images are not casual portraits. They are declarations. They declare authority. They declare divine favor. They declare that this king belongs not only to history, but to myth. The exhibition leans into that idea through monumental sculpture, royal imagery, and displays that reinforce Ramses as both ruler and symbol. What's interesting in the life of Ramses II is that he won a lot of battles, he also lost some, and he drew some. But what's really pertinent is that in his narrative, he won all of it. So that's history as you tell it. These amulets and jewels were never just decoration. In the world of Ramses II, they were part of the message. Every cup of gold, every sacred symbol, every polished surface helped project something larger than a man. Power, protection, divine right. This was image making in its highest form. A visual language designed to tell the world that Ramses was not simply a king, but a ruler wrapped in cosmic order. The amulets spoke of protection, the jewelry signaled status, and together they became a kind of royal branding, carefully crafted symbols of performance, legitimacy, and control. Long before modern empires understood the power of image, Ramses already knew it. If authority is going to endure, it must be seen, repeated, and remembered. So when you look at these pieces, you are not just looking at beauty, you are looking at power made wearable. This is what made Ramses feel modern. He understood the modern political game of image and branding. Ramses' absolute power and religious devotion are encapsulated in this half-lion, half-human sphinx. Symbols of physical power, lions, then as now, were closely associated with royalty. Here, Ramses offers a vessel of holy water to Amun-Re, king of the gods. What you begin to notice is that power here is not subtle. It is deliberate, repeated, engineered. In modern language, we might call some of this branding. In ancient language, it was kingship. Either way, the intention is the same. Control the image and you influence the memory. This is the Ramesseum, the great mortuary temple Ramses II built on the west bank of Thebes, not simply as a monument, but as a place where his spirit would be honored for eternity. In ancient Egypt, this was his mansion of millions of years, a sacred machine of memory, ritual, and royal presence. Here, Ramses was not preparing to disappear. He was preparing to remain. Massive statues, carved reliefs, and temple walls were all part of the message that his power was divine, his name enduring, and his image beyond the reach of time. And yet, history gave this place another life. Its fallen colossus became linked to Ozymandias, the broken king, or Shelley's poem, Where Glory Meets Ruin. The exhibition moves from projection to preservation, from public grandeur to the intimate question every civilization eventually confronts: what happens after death? Ancient Egypt answered that question with extraordinary seriousness. Gold here is not just decorative, it feels theological. Masks, amulets, burial objects, carved containers, sacred forms. They suggest a culture that treated death not as an ending, but as a passage requiring protection, preparation, and symbolism. The Valley of the Kings was never meant to dazzle from the outside. Hidden in the desert hills west of ancient Thebes, it was built as a silent kingdom for the dead, where pharaohs were buried deep inside the earth, surrounded by images, spells, and symbols for the journey beyond. Standing in front of these objects, I'm reminded that ancient people were not abstract beings trapped inside textbooks. They feared oblivion, they loved continuity, they wanted the soul, the name, and the self to survive. And that to me is where this exhibition becomes deeply human. Because beneath all the splendor is a simple emotional truth. People have always searched for ways not to vanish. What stayed with me most was not just the age of these objects, or even their beauty. It was the discipline behind them, the discipline of memory. Ramses understood that empires fade, stone breaks, dynasties fall, and yet image can keep traveling. His world has changed, his empire is gone, but his presence still moves across cities he never knew, drawing people into rooms like this one, thousands of years later. And maybe that is the real subject of the exhibition. Not only Egypt, not only Ramses, but the human desire to endure, to leave behind something stronger than flesh, something more lasting than a lifetime. In London, a city layered with empire, reinvention, memory, and movement, that question feels especially alive. What remains of a civilization? A monument? A ritual? A story? A name? Maybe the answer is all of them. This has been cultural wisdom, cinematic cultural discovery through places, traditions, and hidden worlds. And today, one of those worlds opened in London. So he had these emblem statues that could transcend generations, and we're now privileged to be able to witness this in modern times. Coming to the end of the tour, this is what I think. Ramses II, this is probably the first and last you see it in London, but ultimately what I've seen, my understanding is that he is a true brand manager of modern times, having had the ability to inaugurate all the decisions and making sure that his story is told his own way. Who is a better marketing expert than Ramses II? I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more exciting content.